go. We're entering, as it stands today, a mind that does not deserve to be thinking. It is a mind of madness. I feel like I got to work on that transition a little better. It doesn't fade in like our other shows. I'm not sure what I missed in the settings. Here we are. We're around the corner on Battle World. Today is the official start of pre-releases. I realized today is Wednesday, and Wednesday is when everything gets shipped out. I was having a conversation with Amber this morning, and I got my days mixed up. So today is the official start of the Battle World pre-releases. What? What are you looking at back there? And word's starting to trickle in. We're starting to find out what certain figures that might be missing as far as the collective consciousness is going for this set, and where we kind of look, where we look like, for what's coming out of the set. There's a few things that haven't been seen that are starting to raise some eyes. One of the last episodes of Scott Porter's unboxings brought to light the Sheriff Strange, which a lot of people are starting to talk about. And it's getting the creative juices flowing with me. I don't know if you caught the Metal Lab this week, but I was all in on Sheriff Strange. So we're super excited to start thinking about building with him. Hopefully he's in some kind of the... Yeah, there's a Sailor Moon Funko Pop. You know how hard those things are to come by? They're amazing. Back there. Let's see what we get in the future and what we get to work with. I know what figures I'm going to try to hunt down and what I'm trying to be building with. And, of course, I want to share some of that information with you. As you can tell, we've got some work to do tonight on the show. So it's going to be a little recording tonight. I don't want to... So if I seem rushed, it's because we got a long night ahead of us. We got a lot of really cool stuff planned for this week on the set. So... But one of the goals I had about this show wasn't just as an exercise in team building. It's kind of another chance to catch behind the curtain, as it were, and talk about some of the stuff that goes behind the scenes with the Married with Clicks channel in general. One of which is, of course, one of those things that we get. It's a beautiful perk from the guys over at WizKids. We do get a brick of Heroclix with which to open and talk to you guys about. And I'm going to get rid of this distraction very briefly. But I want to spend a little bit of time talking about this because as a competitive player, I have a certain degree of honor to myself. And that honor is in the fact that I don't touch this stuff after opening it, except to play a couple fun games. To get a good review of the set. And I have a friend who usually drives us to our local venue. And we'll literally just grab figures until we have like a 600-point team. And we'll start throwing down with the figures just to see what they do. This is a non-competitive feel. This is a game feel for the figures. I don't even start thinking about competitive unless I'm kind of what I do here, which is theory crafting ideas. And that's something I obviously have started sharing with you guys as my fans. So that level of honor I have is this stuff mostly collects dust until the set's officially released and whatnot. So, and yes, to answer your question, Happy Little Heroclix, if you watch our show tomorrow, we have a lot of really cool stuff planned with regards to how we do our unboxing. Scott Porter does a great unboxing, gives us our first look at the figures, and adds to the collective consciousness of what we see. We get ours much later than that, being both Canadian and not Scott Porter. So we have to wait a little bit for our own. Part of that is dealing with distributors. The other part of that is, again, we are not named Scott Porter. He's much prettier than I am. He shaves more regularly than me, as you can see by my cheeks. And the general idea is that he goes first because that's WizKids. That's not Scott Porter's personal YouTube channel that he's running there. That is WizKids' YouTube channel, and they are the ones that put that stuff out. So as a result, we have to do something different than what he does. We used to kind of do what he did, and for us, we felt like it was more of the same. But we also have less charisma than him, and You know, we had been at times accused of being disingenuous. We are genuinely excited about the... Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. We are genuinely enthusiastic about the stuff as well, but we have been accused of not being genuinely enthusiastic. It's hard to display that on camera as well without seeming like you're condescending. It's a really difficult process to do because a lot of your excitement is like, that was cool, and then that's it. It's a fleeting moment. It's like, yes, I got this. All right, awesome, yeah. But that's also generally when you open your stuff, it's based on having seen all that information. Some of the stuff is exciting new to us. I mean, just look at when we accidentally released a video before we were supposed to, and I got Howard the Duck and how Scott Porter reacted to Howard the Duck. That's two different reactions. Because I did a whole woohoo for him. Anyway, I'm on a big tangent, and this is going to be a thing that happens. So yes, this time around, what we usually do is we try to do sealed primers, but we're going to do that, but we're going to add some extra stuff because Battle World is the last set being released for Heroclix. In addition to Battle World being the last, sorry, in the year 2018. In addition to it being the last Heroclix set of 2018, it is also the set that is going to be just around, the aura around Worlds is surrounding this set. And part of that is the Team Worlds, and of course Battle Royales. Those are two things that are a big part of Worlds. In addition to which, WKOs are just around the corner, and we have to talk about Sealed. So we have 10 packs with which to work with, and when you see our episode, we're going to make the full use of all 10 of those packs to best inform all you guys as to how we would react and just generally how the set kind of feels for that sealed environment. When we get past that, my figure review, I will be a little bit more strict on the sealed portion of that. So kind of exciting times ahead, and just a little bit of a preview into what you guys are going to see tomorrow. Tomorrow being Thursday, and on Friday, which will be my piece-by-piece review. This is going to be exhausting. This is why I run on energy drinks and carbohydrates. All right, so I've talked about that. Now it's time to... I don't think I have a build in plan today because I want Battle World to be fully in the consciousness so that I can start theory crafting around possibly some more things in the set. But I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about a figure that wasn't officially previewed but did make its rounds around the internet. Specifically, this one showed up on HC Realms. I came across it via the Heroclix guys. Their Facebook channel or Facebook group. So I'm not sure who the original user on HC Realms is, but kudos to him or her for having pulled this figure and sharing it with the world. I'm excited for this figure, and let's take a good look here at Queen Witch Queen Le Fay. So Witch Queen Le Fay is Battle World, Weird World, Mystical, and Ruler keyword. So that's Battle World, Weird World, Mystical, Ruler. We have a high-level super rare with the Weird World trait. I'm excited about that much. First, she's got the Baroness of Battle World trait. For those of you unfamiliar, the Battle World Barons or Baronesses have leadership and perplex, and that perplex is general perplex, in addition to which they can also use it on a figure that shares a Battle World, her Battle World keyword, in which case this would be Battle World Weird World, to give +2, or if it's an opposing character with an alternative Battle World keyword, it's a -2 if you so chose. And that's like not if you have an opposing character who's Battle World, not Weird World. Yeah, so that's a really cool trait that's across the board. I'm trying to multitask here very terribly, I might add. So bear with me here. Next, she's got Untamed Weirdness. This is a trait. Opposing characters' combat values except range can't be modified when attacking Witch Queen Le Fay or being attacked by Witch Queen Le Fay. That's kind of a here and there. If you want to try to use her negative perplex, That's unfortunately a modification, and therefore wouldn't work on the character that she's attacking. Darn. But that's not to say you can't use it to protect other members of your team. Okay? I think ultimately the Baroness of Battleworld is going to be used more on a friendly basis with this particular character. It's just one of those situations that I think is going to come up. All right. So the next thing, and this is her special movement power. Now, when we look at the dial, you'll see that this is figures playable at, I believe it's 150 and 100. Let's see. Yeah, 150 or 100. So this movement power only exists on the 100-point version, 150-point version of the figure. And it's a doozy. It's probably one of the coolest movement special powers I've ever seen in my life. It reads, flying, and which Queen Lefay can use all standard speed powers except Earthbound, Neutralize, and Stealth. When she misses any target of an attack after resolutions, she can't use this special power for the rest of the game. Ooh, little bit of a steep cost on that, but that means that she's not going to cost a whole lot as well, or that power isn't going to cost a ton. Now, well, let's take a look at the actual dial and what it looks like. 150 points gets you a 7-click dial. 3 clicks in the middle with probability control. You get all movement powers on the first two if you pay 150. She's got sidestep across her dial. She's got 100. She is indomitable as well. So now, is this power worth 2 clicks at 50 with Pulse Wave and Mastermind? I'm leaning towards yes myself. That's right. I am leaning towards a 150-point character. Everybody can calm down and lose their minds at the same time. Now, I want to put into perspective for everybody what every single movement power looks like just in general. That's it. Just to put it into perspective to a certain degree. Only 2 of these are not going to be allowed to be used. We have no Earthbound and no Stealth. So effectively, this card reads, this character has Flurry, Leap, Climb, Phasing Teleport, Charge, Mind Control, Plasticity, Force Blast, Sidestep, Hypersonic, and Running Shot. Whew. Like, wow. I'm in love. I'm in love with Lefay. I have to admit it. I'm Amber. I hope she never finds out. I'm shaking the table with excitement, as you can tell. This character is super exciting for me because one thing you have to note about that dial. Here's an important part about this dial. If I up her stats, if I up these stats on the defense, I get to keep that. Unless I'm being attacked by another Weird World character. So, perspective on that. But that said, my opponent will not be able to perplex up their stats. They will be required to perplex down her stats. That's focusing on her in this degree. In addition to which, she's got Mind Control on the first 2 clicks, or Mastermind on the first 2 clicks, which is pretty cool. There's some glaring obvious problems. Outwit is problematic, of course, and just there's a number of problems to this character. But I want to build with it. This has got my brewing brain going, and I am feeling as though. There's just something to this, and I want to try building with her. I feel like her and Sheriff Strange on the same team are very, very enticing. I feel as though throwing in, Batman the Animated Series Zatanna on the same team is very good. She doesn't, unlike Strange, she doesn't have an overarching effect on the board to the degree that he does. But she does bring a very potent character to the map. And I feel as though for all of her weaknesses, she's got a chance. She's got some kind of a chance. I don't think she's going to function fully on her own in a competitive field. I think we're going to have to do things like, I don't know, the symbiote on her possibly. That's one thing that comes to mind. I'm going to have to figure out how to manage, like, because one of the problems with the mystical team, which is where I'd be leaning towards with her, either mystical or ruler. I have to look at Strange, because if Strange is ruler as well, I believe he is, but I might be wrong. If he is a ruler, that means I get to use Groot on the team as well, which gives me Walking Woods, which gives me Mastermind fodder. So there's a number of things I want to try with her before saying this is it. This is the figure. But I feel like this has got my brewing brain going. And I think even with a 12 attack, I think even I have a hard time missing that, right? Amber just said no, don't do that. Don't rely on that. That's how my hubris gets me. So we'll see. It is a figure I'm leaning towards, and there's just so much possibility, I think, with that figure and things to take into consideration. So, all right, that's it. What else is up and new in the world of Heroclix? Like I said, like the stuff is leaking into this set. And yeah, Zatanna Bats is kind of where I was going. If I lean mystical, I go Zatanna Bats. If I lean ruler, I also have the option of using things like Surtur and the Groots. It's a big pool of things that you can create possibilities on with her, and I like all of her potential. In addition to which, of course, like if the Walking Woods start to pop off too, I mean, I can start using the Colossals themselves as bait for Mastermind should I require that. Yeah. So I think Morgan Le Fay is a very cool character. Is going to be a character. Which Queen Le Fay is going to be a character I'm taking into deep consideration. Maybe even not for Worlds, but definitely for WKO consideration. I'm sitting in a pretty safe place with WKOs. As much as I want Rogue, I think I'll push harder for a sealed win for the Rogue as opposed to the constructed win, and I think I'll use a constructed win to test ideas in a constructed settlement, as it were. So, and like I said, I'm not going to start build brewing just yet. As I want Battle World out. I want to know there's still gaping holes. Phrasing. In the knowledge base that I have for Battle World that I have to look through, and I have to actually absorb myself to start kind of saying this is where I'm comfortably directing myself, and willing to start getting some practice games in with. I'm hoping the set yields a lot of entertainment value too, because as mentioned last week, I believe, or earlier this week, me and Amber and I have started filming games again. And it's quite refreshing, actually, to get back into that. Being goofy and playing a couple games of Heroclix in a weekend, filming them and sharing them with you guys, it's both relaxing and refreshing. It's also great for you guys. I mean, it's where our channel started, and we kind of have to bring it back to that degree of things. So, super excited to get that going. What else is on the docket? This is a really weird, kind of slowish episode, so bear with us. I've also, as Happy Little Heroclix has brought to my attention, the team sealed format is something we're going to have to spend a lot of time delving into as far as Battle World is concerned, and I think it's important for a number of reasons, the most important of which being that it's half of the qualifier for Worlds. There's 2 qualifiers going on at PAX Unplugged. If you don't qualify via the Team Worlds, you have to qualify by singles. And I think it's the top 16 teams will qualify for Worlds, like all the members of those teams. That means 48 players will qualify from that tournament, which, if we actually start thinking about the sealed pool and the sealed pool that you get in that, it's very interesting. I'm not sure. One of those things that I try to stress, and I think gets missed, is that it's the 6-pack sealed pool for a team sealed event is not the same as 3 sealed pools. It's a vastly different environment for a number of reasons. I actually kind of wish we took some of the same mathematics that worked for this format and apply them to sealed. In fact, I wish sealed itself as a competitive level was, and this would jack up the cost, I know, but I think it should be 3 packs. It gives players a solid pool of figures with which to make an informed decision on, and it gives players, like, if you don't run into the problem where a set forces an underbuild. Like, with Avengers Defenders War, it happened a lot in the 2 packs. You didn't get enough to build 300 points. It happened a fair bit. Not like on a frequency level higher than 50%, but on a low percentage rate, you could get stuck with 2 packs that don't add up to 300 points. That was a very big possibility. In fact, I think it almost happened to me at the Canadian Nationals that year. I used 9 of the 10 figures, one of which was on my sideline, though, because I had the shifting focus wasps. Excuse me. Oh, choking on phlegm there. So when you get into a 6-pack pool, you start to realize if you build one team out of 6 packs, there's still a lot of figures to go. And you could possibly build another good team out of that. 2 to 3 good teams. And, you know, the idea is there that you get the numbers that you want, and you also get the consistency of build. Now, a frequent problem that's come up with my teams, and I got to kind of start shying my teammates away from this, is we end up getting bomb team, good team, bad team. You want to avoid that. You kind of want good team, decent team. Kind of get my drift. So something to think to consider, as it were, when it comes to this format. You'll see it when Amber and I do our unboxing, which will be released tomorrow. Amber? Amber is, yeah, it should be, but not looking at me when I say it. So this, anyway, and then 2 packs. We'll do all the fun stuff with that, like I said. So the team sealed is going to be an important thing, and I'm going to spend a lot more channel more energy from the channel, and channel. More focus on getting players aware of and functioning around that sort of format, to the point where it might come up where I'm just grab 6 packs off of a shelf, and me and Amber do a casual corner video where we grab one of our friends and build a team for 3 different players. I think that could be a lot of fun. Amber is nodding at me. Yeah, that's actually kind of a cool idea. So, all right. Looking in the chat, and Happy Little Heroclix says he's experimented with a sealed draft in my venue with 2 boosters. It handles the problem. I like I've always considered the idea of the 2-pack draft. The problem is that Heroclix has the rarity disparity problem, where people have to, like, the top end of it, the end result of the sealed has to be me being willing to pass on a trash super rare, and I think that on a casual level, kind of also draft as a competitive format is more or less for a top 8 sort of situation, very similar to what Magic the Gathering does. For Magic the Gathering, if you go to a sealed Grand Prix, day 1 is sealed, day 2 is very, very well monitored draft, and I think that could work on a competitive level where you start sealed and then you go draft. But I do think a sealed, like a solid sealed, not draft pool should be a 3-pack pool, because, like I said, it alleviates the force with which Heroclix kind of leaves you with, and it gives you a 3rd pack of proper decision making, to say the least. So, but But, you know, that's all my hypotheticals. This is the hypothetical day, as it were. Because the funny thing about Witch Queen LeFay and Sheriff Strange is I got to get those. And everybody started talking about Sheriff Strange, and then when we all started that conversation, the dollars and the cents on that figure went this way. And that's just a thing to expect on secondary market, is if people are going to use it, people get it, and they want to sell it, that the end result is that it costs more. The more conversations we have about the figure, the more likely it is to see competitive play, the more people are going to be willing to spend the money, the more people are willing to be charging for that money, and then when people are buying at the high value, that is how secondary market works. It is what it is. You kind of accept it or die. I don't actually die. It's just kind of that, you have to make a certain level of acceptance to things and understand, be ready for this kind of thing. Because when it comes to going to and prepping for Worlds and WKOs, you gotta kind of look at it and say, how bad do I want it? And this is where the cost analysis comes in. It's Heroclix doesn't make you back the money unless you're really good at selling your extra stuff on the secondary market or your prizes on the secondary market. That's a given. That's any collectible game. Well, that's not any collectible game. That's a lie. A lot of collectible games do give you money for prizing. Heroclix does not. But they give you money in the form of prizing, and you have to kind of make that money yourselves. So it becomes a job in itself. So you have to gauge how in it are you for the win it. How much do you want the prize at the very end? And that will define whether or not you're willing to spend the dollars to get the team that you want, or are you a capable player able to use the limited resources you have, the friends that you have, in order to build the team that you need. And some players, Tom Kerr is a really good example of this. He might not have the biggest collection, but he knows who to ask for things. And he knows when it's time to do some borrowing, and he has some great ideas. If you have a big idea pool and a good friend pool of players who have a collection, that they're not, obviously you're never using an entire collection I come close to using an entire collection when I build my teams in Heroclix, but I'm still not even coming close to using my entire collection. And when people need to borrow things off of me, I'm more than willing to do it. I just need a good reminder the day before. Because if you don't remind me the day before, I will forget. It will happen. It's just unavoidable. I'm terrible about it. It's these grays, like all the color seeping from my beard. It's also the brain cells seeping, the memory cells seeping from my brain. I have an accumulative knowledge of useless knowledge in my head that needs to go. And the problem is that even getting rid of that, I don't think I could pack any more in there. So that stuff's still kind of well known. And a lot of it is really old Magic cards that I don't need to know anymore. There's a lot of really good computer stuff in there, though. A lot of really cool video game stuff. That's always a fun thing. But yeah, it's like I said, it's been a super casual day because preset release, I kind of do an all stop on builds. And the reason for that is I do try to get as much information as I can in regards to the sets and start kind of coming up with ideas, but I don't want to start doing that if something else comes out in the set that nullifies that idea, I have character A. Well, character A comes out, but then if player has character B on their board, character A's powers are all turned off, and it's like, well, why did I bother? It's happened to me too many times at this point that I gotta do that. So then I start focusing on what's good in sealed, what's good in draft, or what's good in battle royales. But even then, without all the information, I don't know what chaff is going to be in the set as well. And I don't. When I say focus on battle royales, I don't focus on battle royales. If you're at Heroclix Worlds, Nationals, or anything like that, and I'm playing in a battle royale, I'm the table you can hear. Because and Amber's just as guilty of this as I am. We're the giggle tables. We have too much fun in battle royales, and it costs us games a lot of time. Except for Amber. Amber somehow she managed to get everybody laughing and just scumbags them all. I don't know how she does it.
Just get this face. I don't like the format anyway. I don't like battle royales. I really don't. That's why I try to be funny during battle royales, because like I understand the figures at the end of it are super expensive, but if you're no selling my jokes and like I can see you stifling the laughter, but you're trying to be serious because you're trying to win, you're already my enemy. You have been warned. Anyway, yeah. Well, like I said, a light episode because we have a big night of filming ahead. So I kind of wanted to give everybody a little bit of a behind the curtains thought process on what happens at this point for me. As we get into next week, using what we had from the figure review, we're going to revisit any ideas I might have for teams, just based on what we have and what I plan to acquire, and how to budget. I might actually do an episode on how to properly budget myself for this kind of thing, because I'm starting to do Happy Little Heroclix wants a battle royale with us, which is awesome. So I'm game. Just don't take it too seriously. We also need a fourth, because this fourth guy is always the guy. That fourth guy's always the guy. Also, at Worlds, they'll randomize them anyway, so it's almost impossible to line them up. They're mean like that. They hand you, like, playing... Okay, you know what? This is a good chance to do this, because I don't think we do this enough. And that's how to properly prepare people for what's coming when it comes to the Battle Royales at Worlds. So Happy Little Heroclix, what we might do is we go to one of the vendors and buy 4 packs and have our own little battle royale with nothing on the line, except for like draft order. Because, and here's, when you go to the battle royales at Worlds, the problem they had in the past was that people would team up on a third and split the prizing ultimately. It was problematic, and I understand why. When people start getting these prizes super seriously, all hell breaks loose. And what they did in order to nullify that was Amber put her sewing bag beside my computer, which is a great place to keep pins and needles and string with a house full of children. Anyway, the problem they were having is that when 3 guys are teaming up on one, this guy is pissed because he knows those 3 guys know each other and he doesn't want to play in that battle royale. So, in order to alleviate that, they don't start battle royales until I think 16 people sign up. You see, there's 16 or however many they have. It might even be 20. Enough to set up multiple battle royales. And then you get a table based on, and it's usually like Marvel battle royales and DC battle royales. Is there even a DC set that's out right now? Amber's looking at me.
Batman?
You basically, Batman the Animated Series. That's right. So it'll be like Batman the Animated Series on one page, and it'll be Battle World on the other page. And then everybody signs up, and what'll happen is you'll go to the table. This is the Batman the Animated Series table, and this is the Battle World table. Okay? And then everybody gets a playing card handed to them. And it's cards ace through 4 or 5, depending on how many tables they have. All the aces go sit at one table. All the 2s go to sit at another table. All the 3s, 4s, so on. Okay? Those are your Battle Royale seatings. And that's where they randomize it, so whatever happens, happens. Now, granted, there have been times where I think me and Amber have been paired up together. No, since they do the randomized, we've never even been at the same Battle Royale pools, to be brutally honest. No, we've done it once. We were in the same Battle Royale pool once. It was funny because she turns to me, it's like, would you go with the Earth X Captain America or the Green Lantern at the time? And we went with Green Lantern because he was going for more money at the time, locally. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. So you'll be hard pressed to arrange a battle royale, which is why I think if we were to do it, we'll grab 4 packs and go off to the side and be like, yo, battle royale right here. Might even film it just for giggles. I think it'd be a lot of fun. We'll have like a camera of the table going, and then we'll have a camera over the table. I think that could be a great deal of fun if you're up for that. And Fuzzy Wumple and Happy Little Heroclix are all over it, so we'll see what happens. So prepare yourself for that portion of it. Team Worlds, you do have to come in with your own team and make sure you decide how you're splitting the cost ahead of time. Don't let that be a drama. Let that be cool, man. Just be cool. Everyone be cool. Cool. All right. on that. Don't worry about honestly, if you're gonna find out that I don't know how to react to fanboying. People have been like, "Oh my God, you're Jason," and it's just like, "Well, hey man, how you doing?" This is cool. I'm just another Heroclix player, man. I'm very nondescript, bearded, chubby dude who plays Heroclix. I mean, I used to be a skinny, bearded dude who plays Heroclix back in the day, but now I'm chubby, bearded dude who plays Heroclix. And don't worry about being a fanboy. If you want to be excited, be excited. I'm not signing things. I don't have a signature. My signature is worthless. I will break your Captain Major
Force.
Major Force. No, it's not Major Force. It's what was the character? It was from Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it was.
His name is Major Force.
No, Major Force is the guy who put Kyle Rayner's girlfriend in the fridge and gave Anita Sarkeesian something to talk about. All right, let's see. It was Guardians of the Galaxy. It was Major Victory. That's what it was, I think. Major Victory.
I wasn't that far.
You weren't far off. Yeah, Major Victory. Because there's a video way back in the day where it was competitive play for beginners. And the first thing I did was I took a Major Victory, who's like figure 5, a very common figure, and I pulled that figure off of the base. And it was just a base. And the entire story of that is this is how competitive play generally works. You have a figure. They have a name, they have a number, and these are all the things that matter. Is the numbers and the power combinations. So this is what we know about the figure. This plastic thing on there is really just a 3D representation of how it works. And that's generally how players branch into competitive plays. They have to start leaving their favorite characters behind. And it's why I still am not a very good competitive player. Because there'll always be a taste of J on your team, on my team. And when I did Worlds that one year where it looked like I folded to the meta, Goblin King was on my team. But I'm a big fan of the Green Goblin. So I was very happy when Howard ended up winning with it. And yeah, so I will break your Major Victory if you want. I will not break your Major Victory. Who am I kidding? I'm going to be in front of Whiz Kids. I'm not going to be breaking things. That's a terrible precedent to set. All right. Like I said, mostly a non-episode this week. And yeah, Major Victory was a great figure. Don't get me wrong. It's why I chose him. He was so good. And he ended up being like part of Pat's winning team, I believe, when he won the Rock World Cup that year. It wasn't called the Rock World Cup. It was the Dragon Con Rock Final or whatever. I don't know what they called it. So, long and short, it's pause week. Talk about a figure I'm excited about, which is the Morgana Le Fay or Witch Queen Le Fay. I'm excited for that figure. I'm hoping to pull it in our brick from WizKids. And we're really looking forward to what's coming ahead. And yeah, so tomorrow, check us out on Every Man for Everyone. We'll start talking about some of the potential commons in the new set. We'll start building a team with a figure. We'll start with Cable. We'll start with Cable because it's an obvious choice, just to kind of develop the conversation and see where we can build from. And yeah, and then we'll see where the future takes us on that show. By tomorrow, I'm hoping to be rid of the current PDF format that I'm trying to float around to everybody. And Amber should be able to implement something on our WordPress in a more static space where I can just edit as we go, and it's just a static website that we can just say, this is where the rules are, this is where everything that's legal is listed, and we can move along with that. So, behind the scenes episode of Into the Mind of Madness, because these are things that make me mad. Crazy mad, not mad. I'm not angry. I'm barely... I'm not angry until my dice start failing on me. Then people have seen me get grouchy. But without further ado, get yourself ready. WKO's around the corner. Battle World's around the corner. This year 2018 is starting to culminate in some awesome, and I'm really, really looking forward to what the world of Heroclix has for us. Everything Japanese. I'm gonna see myself out of the madness. Have a good night, everybody.